a storm.
Regarding the 28-point crisis, could I please ask you, before we proceed to discuss the main issues palette, to articulate your views, your stance on this particular plan, and how this connects with your recent negotiations with Trump in Alaska?
Yes, of course. There's absolutely no secret to this, I assure you. Publicly, it was hardly ever discussed, only in the most general terms, but this is certainly no secret at all. President Trump's peace plan for resolving the situation in Ukraine was discussed prior to the meeting in Alaska. In the course of this preliminary discussion, the American side requested us to make certain compromises to demonstrate, as they put it, flexibility. The primary meaning of the meeting in Alaska, the fundamental objective of the meeting in Alaska, was that during the negotiations held in Anchorage, we reaffirmed that despite the challenging questions and complications that arise from our side, we nevertheless are in full agreement with these proposals and are ready to demonstrate the flexibility being offered to us. On all these matters, we have thoroughly briefed all our friends, partners from the Global South, including the People's Republic of China, India, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, South Africa, Brazil, many other nations, and naturally the CS2 member states. All of our friends and partners, I want to emphasize this, every single one of them, they all supported these potential agreements. However, we see that after the negotiations in Alaska, a certain pause has occurred on the American side, and we know this is due to Ukraine's actual rejection of the peace settlement plan proposed by President Trump. I suppose that's why its new, essentially modernized 28-point plan emerged. We have this text, we obtained it via existing channels with the American administration. I believe it can also be a substantive topic. This text is not being discussed with us. Pause, and I can only surmise the reason why. Pause, the underlying reason, I believe, remains precisely the same. Pause, the United States administration has still been unable to secure the full agreement of the Ukrainian side.
Ukraine opposes.
It seems that Ukraine and its European allies are still clinging to illusions and dream of inflicting a strategic defeat upon Russia on the battlefield. I believe that the foundation of such a stance is not merely a low level of competence. I won't elaborate on that now to discuss this side of the matter, but most likely this stance is due to a lack of objective information about the situation, the real state of affairs on the battlefield. And by all accounts, neither Ukraine nor Europe understands what this could ultimately lead to. Just one recent example, Kupiansk. Just recently, as we recall, on the 4th, I believe, of November, that is, well, about 2 weeks ago in Kiev, they publicly declared that in this city there were no more than 60 Russian servicemen. And within the next few days, as they had stated, this city would be completely unblocked by Ukrainian forces. But I want to inform you, to make it clear, that already by that time, by November 4th, the city of Kupiansk was practically entirely in the hands of the Russian armed forces. Our guys, so to speak, were just finishing up, clearing only individual blocks and streets. The city's fate at that moment was already definitively decided. What does this indicate? Or do Kiev's leaders lack objective information about the situation at the front? Or having it, are they simply unable, cannot objectively assess it?
If Kiev is unwisky,
unwilling to discuss President Trump's proposal and chooses to reject it, then both they and the European warmongers must understand that the events which occurred in Kupiansk will inevitably be repeated in other key sectors of the front. Perhaps not with the speed that we might have wished for, but it will inevitably continue to unfold. And on the whole, this situation is quite satisfactory for us because it directly contributes to the attainment of the special military operations goals through armed force in the ongoing armed struggle. But we, as I have repeatedly stated before, are ready for both peace negotiations and for resolving problems through peaceful means. However, this of course demands a substantive discussion of all the details of the proposed plan. We are ready for this. Let's move on
to the topics that have been proposed for discussion during today's Security Council.